Hello, and welcome to episode 162 of the Casual Try Hard podcast. I'm Brian.
And I'm James.
And this week we are going to talk about some of the sweet new decks that have popped up and powerful cards that have shown up thanks to Kamigawa Neon Dynasty.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them in a whole bunch of different formats. So whatever format you play, there's probably something cool we're going to talk about.
So if you want to find us on social media or find our Discord server, you can check our description and all those links are there.
Yep, perfect. We also have a TCG player affiliate link, tcg.casualtryhardmtg.com, if you'd like to support the show. Or if you want to support us a little bit more directly, you can do so at patreon.com/casualtryhardmtg. Patrons get access to our show notes. They get access to our pre-show. And also once in a while I send out little gifts. So if you want to chip in a couple bucks to Patreon and help support the show, we would greatly appreciate it. Also, we're trying something new with our YouTube channel. We are recording all of our episodes as video with our smiling faces and a little bit of background art or whatever. And we're going to upload those to YouTube. Yeah, smiling faces. So make sure you head over there and check out what we're doing there. Also, like the video kind of has like a weird blank area, and I don't really know what to put there. So if you guys have ideas of what you want to see next to our heads, or like how you want this templated, I guess, leave a comment. Let us know, or get at us any of the ways that are down in the description. Let us know what you want. We're here for you.
Sounds good. All right. So we both independently came to the same show idea, and we were simultaneously
feverishly
editing the Google Doc.
Yep.
So while the power level in Kamigawa is relatively flat, and what I mean by that, like, other than like Boseiju that you look at and go like, yeah, you're kind of broken.
Yeah.
For the most part, the cards are of like a similar power level, so there's not any that are like hugely out of whack.
Yeah.
There are a lot of like weird like pieces that fit together.
Fiddly bits.
Yeah, fiddly bits. The generation of game objects.
That's right.
Is happening. And so it has had a relatively outsized impact on a number of formats.
Mm-hmm.
And while some of these decks might not raise to like tier 1, they are like interesting players you need to be aware of, and just neat things going on. So we're going to start in standard.
Yep.
And the first one is, oh, you, my friend, this is your jam.
Well, I mean, we're going to talk about it in a bunch of different formats, but the Anvil decks. I love Oni Anvil. Like, ever since I saw that card, that's everything I want to do in a game of Magic. It's shuffling game objects between zones. It's incremental advantage. It's awesome. And the standard decks seem to be pretty cool. They run typically the Deadly Dispute Shambling Ghast package. So you can, turn your Shambling Ghast into either a removal spell or a couple treasures and a couple cards. Stay flat on cards, but end up kind of carrying your mana over. That package also makes game objects in the form of treasure tokens, which the deck really likes to use, especially since they're artifacts. And then there's a bunch of different ways you can go from there. Most of the decks also use the is it experimental synthesizer or whatever?
Yeah.
They use that with the Anvil because that's kind of a way to like accrue some card advantage. Some of the decks are using the Soul Mercatai Soul Ripper or whatever. The vehicle. Yeah, vehicle. Because that cares about sacrificing artifacts and creatures, and that's kind of all the deck wants to do. It's also an evasive threat that's kind of hard to deal with. You have to hit it at instant speed, so it dodges a lot of the sweepers. And then some of the decks are playing that Dockside Chef, the 1 mana enchantment creature that lets you sack stuff to draw a card. Have you seen anything else that kind of stands out in that deck?
I have brought up all of the various Rakdos decks from Standard on MTG Goldfish right now.
Awesome.
So sadly it's not doing the thing. I can't get it to compare decks, but so it's some mix of kind of there's Shambling Ghast and Volduran Epicure is another one that shows up. Because what does it do? It makes 2 game objects. It makes the body, and deals a damage and makes a blood.
Yep.
Right. Some of them are playing Blood Tithe Harvester.
Yep.
Which makes a blood and a body.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one has Kalen Reclusive Painter because it makes a body and another game object.
Yeah, I think most of them have moved away from Kalain. That's either that's an outlier or that's old tech.
Yeah, and so I've seen looking at another one here. Here's one with a Velduran Bloodcaster.
Mm-hmm.
So just ways to make random game objects.
Mm-hmm.
That a lot of them are leaning on the Deadly Dispute, the $2 common or $2.50 common from the greatest selling set of all time, Dungeons and Dragons.
Sure. Listen to Mark Rosewater, it is.
Yeah. So it's a lot of things that incidentally make artifacts,
mm-hmm.
and then Oni called Anvil to eat them.
Yep.
Experimental synthesizer to get through cards, and a lot of them have Meat Hook Massacre.
Oh yeah, just about all of them are playing Meat Hook Massacre.
Yeah. Real quick, how much is a Meat Hook Massacre?
I don't know, $30, $40.
47.
Wow.
3 of them are $140.
Holy moly.
Yeah, that's not okay. But
how much my foil is.
Whew. We might be able to retire.
Yeah.
It's
only a couple dollars more.
Okay. So you've got this engine of Anvil, which we talked about being some part of Cat Oven,
mm-hmm.
where once you get the first one, it kind of just feeds itself.
Yeah.
Now, because you only get the token at the end of your turn when a creature dies, you don't have the fact that it's a fog
mm-hmm.
for one creature, where Cat was
Probably
always just yes, because it was at the beginning of each end step.
Yeah.
Then it's just a fog, and you can't ever attack on the ground. So you have this these little engines and all these things that are giving you extra pieces of cardboard,
mm-hmm.
and you just kind of combination accrue value plus get in chip damage / with the Soul Ripper get in big chunks of damage.
Yeah,
the Soul Ripper's go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think for the most part, this is very much an engine deck. You're trying to put an engine together and then kill over the course of whenever you get around to it. The Soul Ripper definitely helps speed the process up, but at some point they're gonna find an answer to it, and you don't have another source of big chunks of damage. So the deck really wants to get, 1 or 2 good hits in with the Soul Ripper, and then kind of finish the game out with either Anvil pings or, the odd Volduran Epicure here or there, or drains with Meat Hook Massacre.
Yeah, I lost the game to an opponent with a full board who Meat Hook Massacred for 1.
Yeah.
And as a result did 7 to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I've
so
closed
if you
a bunch
look
of games that I just, hit Massacre on 1 and, killed 2 tokens and an Epicure and drained them out.
So what's interesting is if you go through Goldfish,
mm-hmm.
You have I guess I'm going through just results from a Croquis list, a Croquis tournament. But there are a bunch of different builds of the deck. There's this is from a Croquis tournament. Rakdos Sacrifice, Rakdos Tokens. Yep. Right? That is all kind of the same. It's the same deck, just slightly dressed up. The most recent event from 21st is the one that Saffron Olive played at the end of the Turtle Prison with the Stensia Uprising, which can't be right.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe that is the right card.
Jerry Thompson also did an article on this for Star City this week. That's the list that I've been playing around with.
Okay. I've not seen that.
Yeah.
But, so, like, you have this core shell of things, and it's a solid deck, and, like, Anvil gets better as you, like, go back in formats, and you have, like, just more random stuff.
Yeah, different things to feed it.
Yeah. All right, next up is, plug, is a version of the deck I played in a video this week that went up Monday.
Yeah.
And
Super
that is,
cool.
You have it here, it's Enchantress Reanimator. I think I'm leaning towards, like, standard Bant Living End.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, like, I called it something that people would recognize. I don't know that many of our listeners know what Living End is, so.
Yeah. So, basically, you're trying to use the channel creatures that are enchantments and artifacts, and you're trying to fill your graveyard with those, preferably for some sort of value. And then on the there's Brilliant Restoration, which is 3 white that returns so many whites. To play so many planes, which returns artifacts and enchantments from your graveyard to the battlefield. So you're playing Colossal Sky Turtle, right? It serves as a, like, part of an engine with the, like, return a permanent part of it. Plus it serves as early interaction with the bounce mode. You're playing the Mirror Shell Crab, that is a counter spell.
Yep.
And you're playing the Tanuki, because it serves as ramp. And I was playing the Samurai that you pay to, and you get a planes. You channel it for a planes. It doesn't gain life.
Yeah, it does. Gains 2 life.
It does?
Yeah.
Oh, this card's better than I thought. I didn't realize it gained life.
Enchantment creature? Yeah.
Oh, wow. I played that deck for like 3 hours and never realized it gained me life.
Yeah, it gains you 2 life.
Okay. Cool. Anyway, I was playing those, and then you just try to get the game to a point where you can resolve your big spell and put like 20 power on the board, and you hope it's good enough.
Yeah.
But you're also, like, you're accruing a bunch of value, and I also had a Shigeki in the deck. The 1 and a green 1/3 enchantment creature that lets you tap it and pay 1 in the green and look at the top 4 cards of your library and put a land onto the battlefield. So I was playing that because it has the channel for green XX, get back X cards, non-legendary cards. So with that and Colossal Sky Turtle, you can just start looping your deck, or looping your graveyard. So you're like, I'll Shigeki for 3, tap 8 mana, get back a Sky Turtle and 2 other things, then play a spell or 2, Sky Turtle, get back Shigeki, get back now hopefully 4 cards with Shigeki. One of them's a Sky Turtle, so you can just, like, grind your opponent out that way as well.
A lot of mana, though. Very mana intensive.
It is, but you are ramping.
Yeah.
But you're hoping to get to a point where, like, you've just buried your opponent, and you're just like, I have to go over the top of you now. So all of those, like, turtle bounce spells that, like, are, you know, tempo negative kind of plays, or, you know, or card disadvantage, and then you're just like, oh, it's fine. I'll get back 4 cards, and I'll make up for the fact that I spent a bunch of them bouncing dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Also, you can bounce a Goldspan Dragon with a turtle and not give them a treasure.
Nice. Because
it's only the target of a spell, not ability.
Yep. Perfect.
Also, the Greater Tanuki, that 3 mana ramp spell is instant speed. So you can
hold up your, like, crab and then Tanuki instead.
Exactly. So it gives you something to do with that mana.
Yep.
So that's something to keep in mind. But that deck, the version I played, I think needs work, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If you can shore up your game against aggro, like you can go over the top of most everything else.
Yeah.
So, historic.
More Anvil.
Anvil's going to come up a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much just the same deck, right?
No, that you get Cat Oven, which makes the deck insane.
Oh, so this is playing the food package.
There's at least that part of the food package. Not all of them play all of the food package, but most of them play Cat Oven as well. Because if you return a cat, you get to make your guy, which then gives you extra food for your anvil.
Gotcha.
So, the version that I've been playing is just the Jund food deck with anvils thrown in.
Okay.
And it's pretty sick. It makes all of the game objects and sacrifices all of the game objects. The version that I was playing, I actually pulled off of our Discord. Somebody posted it up, and I thought it looked like a blast, so I started playing with it. Tweaked it a little bit, very little, and was kind of just rocking that most of the week. But most of my wins came by tutoring up a Citadel with Karn.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, you make so many game objects, you only need to hit like 2 or 3 cards off of your Citadel, and then you just kill them. You end up with a Mayhem Devil in the battlefield, and you can 20 them out of nowhere. You get so many foods and treasures and little construct tokens or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and you just like accrue a ton of value.
Yeah, and that version runs the Trail of Crumbs too. So a little bit heavier into the food package.
Yeah, but with Trail of Crumbs though, like just getting to like draw cards and find more game objects.
Find your anvil, yeah.
Is a big deal.
Yep. So that version's really fun. I've been having a blast with it. There is a couple different Rakdos versions floating around too. Do you have it pulled up on Goldfish? Is there anything you see there?
Not for. There was like one historic list. There's more. I have a Pioneer list pulled up right now.
Okay.
But there aren't a lot of historic stuff because there's not a lot of historic tournaments.
Yeah. Well, it's basically just the whatever Wizards decides to publish, and I don't think they've published anything yet.
Yeah.
So, before we talk about Anvil and Pioneer, do you want to talk about the other historic deck?
Oh yeah. So Greasefang is another card that's making waves in multiple formats. So there are a few versions of Greasefang in Historic. You can play it. So the trick is Greasefang returns a vehicle from your graveyard to the battlefield, gives it haste, but you have to crew it.
Mm-hmm.
So Greasefang crews a Parhelion just fine.
Yep.
And Parhelion, when it attacks, it makes 2 angels.
Mm-hmm. So
the angels stay behind because you bounce the Parhelion, so you can attack for 13 on turn
3.
3, and then attack for 4 with your angels on turn 5.
Yep.
Or turn 4, and you win the game. Right now, there was a short video from Krim on MTG Goldfish where he played this Mardu version that relied on Faithless Looting and Cathartic Pyre.
Yep.
As like the discard outlets, and it was fine. It folded to any kind of interaction.
Yeah.
Like at all. Saffron Olive played a version of it in Pioneer that was Esper. But I think you could also play an Esper version in what's it called?
Historic.
Whatever in Historic. Right. So you lose like Faithless Looting, but keeping Faithful Mending and almost Faithful Looting. You also can have your choice of Chart a Course or Thirst for Knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I was on a more I was on more Chart a Courses than Thirst for Knowledges when I was the deck I built. I hadn't had a chance to play it yet. But you get to do the same thing, but the blue version is a little more resilient, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can protect your Grease Fang better.
Exactly.
A couple spell pierces or something in there, and
it plays Disruption Protocol.
Okay.
The counter spell that you either have to that's either cancel or tap an artifact.
Yeah.
And it plays some portable holes as artifacts you can get to turn your thing into actual counterspell.
Yeah.
The sideboard had Mystical Disputes, but I think in the list that I had seen played, I think that Spell Pierce is just better.
Yeah.
Right, because you need to counter. You need to get to turn 4, play your Grease Fang, and then counter their removal spell.
Right.
And the removal spell is not going to be blue.
Right.
Right. So you need that 1 mana to just Spell Pierce it and get your thing through. Or if you want to go super hard, you could be like, I'm just going to play God's Willing.
Yeah, you could do that.
Right. Like I just want to make sure Grease Fang lives. I don't care. So they also seem to be playing a lot of them are playing the new Tezzeret.
Mm-hmm.
Since it kind of crews vehicles.
Yeah.
And again, I haven't seen lists, but I saw of the Mirror in a video I watched where instead of playing Tezzeret, they played Karn.
Yep.
Because
it also
when you
pseudo cruise it.
Yeah, it makes it an 8/8.
Yeah.
Which also makes 2 angels that are attacking. And sneakily makes it so your opponent can't crew their Parhelion.
Right.
So it kind of is, if you get to turn 4, it can be your protection for Parhelion. Plus, it can be your crewer for Parhelion plus your protection against the Mirror.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it looks fun. I think the big problem in Historic, at least in Best of 1 Historic, I don't really dabble in Best of 3 Historic, is everyone is super prepared for graveyard decks.
Yeah.
Because the best deck in the format is Arclight Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Best of 1 you also have the random Faithless Looting reanimation decks.
Yeah. Well, you also said, I think we were talking about it in the pre-show a little bit, all of the Lurrus decks play, either a Misers or a couple Soul Guide Lanterns just as something to recur and draw cards with off Lurrus.
Yeah.
So even if they're not specifically, looking to hate graveyards, they have the ability to in the main deck.
Exactly. And, what is it called? Oh gosh, Cling the Dust. Yeah. Isn't an unplayable main deckable card.
Right.
And like I said, with the number of decks that rely on the graveyard, particularly in Best of 1 Historic, if you were like, I'm gonna play a Cling to Dust and 2 what are they called? 2 of the Soul Guide Lanterns, I wouldn't be like, that's a terrible idea, don't do that. I'd be like, oh, I see it.
Yeah.
Right, that makes sense. And so
most of what you've just described is legal in Standard, though. The only thing you don't have in Standard is Chart a Course, right?
Parhelion.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. It's the part that matters.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, the 7/7 Trample Haste vehicle.
Yeah.
Right, if you can Faithful Mending, discard it, Grease Fang, bash them for 7, bounce it, flashback Faithful Mending, bash them for 7.
Yeah.
That
does most
that's
of
a
the
realistic
work.
That's a realistic clock.
Yeah. Maybe.
So I don't think it's too bad.
I've also seen the big boat get played, as a 1 or 2 of in this deck as well, just as something else to hit instead of Parhelion. Extra Parhelions. And
what, the boat comes in, does 3 when when it hits the board,
Yep.
and then 3 when it attacks.
Yeah.
And the boat is any target, right?
No, it's creatures or planeswalkers, I think.
Okay.
It doesn't hit players.
So like you can't dome your opponent. Okay.
No.
Boo.
No, it doesn't hit for 12.
But I mean, getting to play it, like if you hit that and you're just like, okay, fine, like hit you for 6, kill 2 of your creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like that is a let's air quotes reasonable thing to do to someone on turn 4.
Yeah.
So no, I think that it is fine. Like I think there were other builds of it too.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like we're like, clearly at like 1.1. Right? But cards that are like so or like what is it? Voldaren Epicure, right? Gives you a body plus it's a discard outlet.
It is.
So like you have those kind of things as well. Like if it was a more low to the ground deck that you were like, Toolcraft exemplaring and being more aggressive,
mm-hmm.
and then by the way, you also have to deal with the fact that I can 13 you out of nowhere.
Yeah.
After I like chipped away and did some random things.
Yep.
So like it could be more like somewhere Anthony's gonna be happy. It could be more like the old Mardu Vehicles deck.
Mm-hmm.
That like, did some like aggressive vehicle-y things, but this just has an oops, you're dead button.
Yeah.
Where you're like, you could like turn 1 Toolcraft Exemplar, turn 2 Voldaren Epicure, which turns on your Toolcraft to deal 3.
Yeah, kind of.
Then you discard
pseudo Thraben Inspector.
Mm-hmm. And then you discard your Parhelion to your blood token.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, okay, Greasefang, hey look, I get to bring back my Parhelion.
Lethal
You. Yeah, like so there are other ways you could build it. I think it's a deck that's probably like it's gonna be fun to build and tweak, but then it's going to be like tier 1.5.
Yeah, it'll probably be too fragile to
take
over.
Again, like we said last week, Greasefang, perfect card.
Yeah. Yep.
So for Pioneer, again, I already kind of touched on this, but again, it's a Greasefang world.
Yeah, I think we were talking in the pre-show. You said people are already calling out that it's a problem.
I've seen some tweets that are kind of vague because I'm not super plugged into Pioneer. I try to pay attention.
Yeah.
But they're like Pioneers just turned into like who can do their thing the fastest.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just 2 decks running past each other.
Yeah.
Not interacting with each other. And it's like, okay. And like that sounds very much like a Greasefang kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to anything else, right? Like that is Greasefang probably causing the problem.
Yeah.
But like we said, it is a super fragile deck, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's vulnerable to a lot.
Yeah. Ooh. So I just like typed in Greasefang into Goldfish.
Yeah.
And we got Esper Greasefang.
Yeah.
With Stubborn Denial.
Ooh.
Because Stubby turns on Greasefang turns on Stubby.
It sure does.
Like this is Forethought Seas, like thank you very much. Chart of Courses, Faithful Mendings, Fateful Absence, a negate, Strategic Planning.
Okay.
Thirst for Knowledge and Dig Through Time, yes. Right, so that's fine. That's what we were talking about. But right under it, there was Abzan Greasefang.
Ooh, okay, I'm intrigued.
And like I've not seen this, so okay, this is Stitcher Supplier, Satyr Wayfinder, which 2 cards that I can't get any happier for.
Yep. So it's more of a mill deck than
Voice of Resurgence and the Greasefang. Can't Stay Away.
What's that?
That is the white, black, return target creature mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It gains if this creature would die exile instead.
Yeah.
Right? So, you could, in theory, turn to your Parhelion.
Yeah.
And then Deadly Disputes, Grizzly Salvages, but this is playing Ezekiel's Chariots as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right, as an additional thing to get to go along with Parhelion.
Mm-hmm.
So this is interesting. It's probably, as someone who has played his fair share of mill decks, and self-mill and dredgy discard graveyard combo decks, I always feel like I would much rather be on the side of the draw discard.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because you can kind of read your opening hand a little bit better.
Well, you also have an opportunity to interact. A lot of times with the mill decks, that's all you're trying to do is turbo mill yourself, and you're not really giving yourself a chance to react. With the decks that draw a discard, you can kind of sculpt a hand that can react as well as do your thing. Yeah.
So as much as I like the Abzan play pattern, and I think that the Back for More is super cute, right? That feels what's it called? That feels probably not interactive enough compared to I have Stubborn Denial and all this stuff. I'm looking through there's a Mardu vehicles list.
Mm-hmm.
In this random tournament that I just brought up. Went 5-2 in a 7-round event. Oh, this is historic. We jump back a little bit.
Oh.
But this gets Esper Sentinel.
Okay.
And Goblin Engineer.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so that guarantees to put your this is historic. Goblin Engineers in historic?
Yeah.
I did not realize. Okay. But Goblin Engineer is just 4 extra copies of your Parhelion. They're only playing 2 Parhelion. They're playing 2 Parhelion and 2 Sovereign, 2 Big Boat.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have a toolboxy package with your Goblin Engineer, and you get Seasoned Pyromancer. Yeah, so
I've seen a bunch of decks playing that too.
Yeah, so there's a lot of ways to do this. But again, it's gonna be fun and it's not gonna be broken. Which is great.
Yep.
For context real quick, this tournament, the February D-Gen Open, sponsored by Ultra Pro, first place, is it Phoenix? Second place, is it Phoenix? Third place, is it Phoenix? Seventh place, is it Phoenix? So
what isn't it?
What isn't it Phoenix? There's one food deck, one Azorius Control, one Azorius Aura's Loris Edition,
Ooh.
and a Rakdos Arcanist. 12th place, is it Phoenix?
So much Phoenix.
So much Phoenix. But, that is, I think, a deck that you can, have fun with, and you can find a version that makes it so you can, get the play style that you want. You can make it more aggressive, more all-in, and it's just a ton of fun. Good, clean magic.
Yep.
13 points of damage on turn 3. Good, clean magic.
It's a lot of fun to play.
And the turn with 12 power. Good, clean magic.
Yeah.
Alright, so we have more Pioneer. More Anvil in Pioneer.
Yeah, I think it's basically just the same thing as we're doing in Historic. Some sort of sacrifice shell. It just kind of adds to the engine. Gives you more game objects. I don't really think there's anything in Pioneer that you get that you don't have in Historic.
Well, I am going to look. and we're gonna see if we have more cool stuff.
Yeah, I saw one list, and the only card that it ran that you didn't have in historic was Dreadbore.
Okay. So bring up Jund Sacrifice, and this is literally just the Jund Sacrifice deck that we all know and like borderline tolerate. Yep. It gets Presageu as well.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Presageu's now $27. We're moving in the right direction.
Give it another week.
And then there's Rakdos Blood, which is I think the exact same deck that we had before. It's playing Kroxa. Yeah, you said Kroxa and Dreadbore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise it is the exact... Yeah, it doesn't... I guess the only thing it has that we don't have is Terrarion.
Terrarion's not in historic?
I don't think, but don't hold me to it. It is not... No, it is historic legal, so... Yeah, I guess it is like you're just playing the historic deck in Pioneer.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, other than Dreadbore...
There's one Westvale Abbey that I see.
Okay. And an Urborg.
Yeah, and Urborg. Yep.
So there's a couple little things, but by and large, it is basically...
just a historic deck.
Just a historic deck. And everything in the board is the same. Yeah.
Crazy Voltage Surge is seeing play.
I mean, it is everything the deck wants to do, right? It's a removal spell that also gets a big thing and lets you sack an artifact.
Yep, that's
like
cheap
it's
on
just
mana.
Yeah, and right, you have 10 creatures in the deck. 4 of them or 8 of them make a token when it comes into when they come into play, and the other 2 are Croxes. And then, yeah, I do like the addition of Blood Fountain. Like, I feel like that could like find its way into the standard version.
I was playing Blood Fountain in the Greasefang decks because it lets you loot through to find your Parhelion or your Greasefang, and if they deal with your first Greasefang, you can get it back with the Blood Fountain.
Yeah. So, like, I could, like, this... So, looking at it, right, it's almost just the standard deck, right? Like, the core of it is the standard deck, right? You're changing your removal suite a little bit, but, like, at its core, it's the standard deck. Right? And, like, there's not an analog to Terrarion, but you go up an experimental synthesizer... Maybe play something that's a little bit worse in terms of, you know, maybe play a 2-mana artifact that draws you a card when it comes into play.
Yeah.
And, like, it's all good. So, I think that, like, I don't know how long the infatuation with Oni called Anvil lasts, but it might just be a thing that's, like, here to stay. And the way they keep printing cards that just, like, have stupid extra things tacked onto them. Right? Like...
Give me more game objects.
I mean, you could see, like, the Brothers' War, right? They just have some 1-mana artifact that, like, makes extra artifacts. Right? Like, I guess I oversold the, like... Oh, gosh. The 3-mana, like, 2/2, like, the artifact creature that made a blood. I was like, oh, it's 2 artifacts if that matters.
Yeah.
Blood Fountain was just that card.
It's just 1 mana that makes 2 artifacts.
Yeah, it didn't need power and toughness.
Yeah.
It just needed to be 2 artifacts.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, some of those Terrarions could be Blood Fountains, too.
Yeah. And, like, it does a reasonable percentage of the thing. So... There's also, there's black, red, so just looking at the designations.
Yeah.
So we went over Rakdos Blood and Jund Sacrifice. They just have a black, red that has Oni called Anvil in it. Let's look at that. So this, okay, it's effectively the same deck.
Yeah.
I don't know why this one got to be black, red, and the other one got to be blood.
Well, I mean,
but
it's
it's
that
the
thing
same
you
deck.
get early on in a like a standard season or wherever, where like the names kind of haven't congealed yet.
Yeah, I guess the difference is it doesn't have a blood fountain, so it doesn't reach the level of having 9 things that make blood.
So it's not all about the blood.
Yeah, it only has 8.
Yeah.
All right. I have not super looked, but I've also not been hit over the head with like any. Hey, there's some cool new modern decks with cards from Kamigawa. So I've not seen any of that, so we don't have any modern stuff to talk about.
I think like there's enough that people are talking about in other formats where like maybe the focus isn't on modern right now.
Yeah. And I will say that like on some level that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like it's good that like maybe a new set impacts like Pioneer as the oldest set it impacts, as opposed to also breaking Modern and Legacy. Like it'd be super concerning if Oni Cult Anvil was like getting played in Legacy.
Yeah.
Right?
Not the kind of card that sees playing Legacy.
Yeah. But what I mean is like if there was just like, oh, there's a whole new archetype because Oni Cult Anvil got printed, which has happened recently. So I guess it's good that it's kind of like, look at these cool new like Greasefang and Anvil decks in Pioneer. And then it's just like, yeah, Modern's still Modern. We got Boseiju. We got to naturalize on a land. That's good, but it's fine. So speaking of all that, I'll go, hey, it's good that like Modern's not thrown on its head. Legacy. Now I'm gonna have to read this card, but
I think I posted this one up in chat when it got spoiled in our Discord.
Oh, okay. I did not see it, so I was just shocked when I was got a Twitch notification from the what's his name? Oh gosh, not Thraben Yu. Oh god, the legacy guy.
Anzid,
that was like playing some tournament. It was like, I think the turtle's gonna win, and I was like, it's the stupid like channel turtle. Is that in Legacy? What is going on? And then I went and it was Kappa Cannoneer.
Yeah, Blastoise.
Blastoise. And so this card is silly. And it doesn't look silly, but then when you think about it, it is completely totally silly.
Yeah.
So it is a 6 mana, 5 and a blue, 4/4 for an artifact creature, Turtle Warrior, that has Improvise. So
kind of convoke with artifacts. You can tap artifacts to help pay for its cost.
Innocuous, but ridiculous piece of text 1. It has Ward 4.
It's basically hexproof in Legacy.
Yes, like getting to 5 mana.
Yeah.
No, not. So like if you don't get it on the way down, you're just not getting it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Kappa Cannoneer, and it can't be blocked this turn.
Wait, so you're telling me that I want to play a bunch of artifacts to make this thing cheap? So it's going to be in a deck with a bunch of artifacts, and then whenever you cast any more artifacts, it's going to be huge and unblockable?
Yes. And effectively hexproof.
Yeah.
And so it is... in itself is an artifact, so when it comes into play, it gives itself a counter.
Oh, it does.
So it's a 5/5.
Nice.
And it was... I heard it compared to... Anzid was like, I think we should just play True Name Nemesis here. Because, you know, people die to True Name Nemesis. And he meant, we're going to play Kappa Cannoneer.
Yeah.
So... it is like kind of True Name Nemesis, where if you play an artifact, it's unblockable. a la True Name Nemesis.
Yep.
It's got Ward 4, so it can't be targeted by any of your opponent's abilities. I guess, like, do we get back to a world where we're playing Council's Judgment?
Maybe.
Right? So the trick for everyone is Council's Judgment doesn't target.
Right.
You just vote for a permanent, and that permanent goes bye-bye.
Yep.
And so Council's Judgment is a way around this. And then they play Psy, Master Thopterist.
Ooh, so you double up the ETBs?
Mm-hmm. And so watched a video from Thraben Yu, and he was like, hey, skip ahead to match 2 or match 3 to see Kappa Cannoneer in action. He was playing a Mardu Tokens deck, and his opponent played a Kappa Cannoneer and then started stringing together Thoughtcast with a Psy out.
Whew.
And they ended the turn with it being an 11/11 the turn it came into play.
Wow.
And then they played an artifact and killed him the next turn because it couldn't block it. And he had like a swords in his hand. It's just like, I can't ever get the 5 mana.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a thing that can ever happen. So,
crazy.
Yeah. So, like
you
the
can't
shell...
even play edict effects against it because, like, the whole deck is random, like, garbage artifact creatures.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't even know Urza was being played, and Urza is $50. Wow. Oh, hey, man, Force of Wills are $110 again.
Oh, nice.
Nice. So, it's got 4 Chalices, 4 Lotus Petals, 4 Mistress Baubles, 4 Mox Opal. You know that you just want artifacts when you're like, Urza's Bauble. I choose you. And then it's got...
in here.
We're not to Ornithopter, are we?
I don't know.
No, okay.
I'm not looking.
We're not to Ornithopter. A Welding Jar. Just in case they're able to target your thing with Word 4.
Yeah. You
can regenerate it. And then it's of course it's an Urza Saga deck. So you've got Aether Spellbomb, Retrofitter Foundry, which are $40 now.
Wow.
Shadow Spears, which are $20.
That's crazy.
Spring Leaf Drum,
right?
It's just a rare.
Wow.
And like Theros got like its full run, or almost its full run before COVID hit.
Yeah.
Right, like we participated in large events that had Theros as the newest set.
Yeah.
Yeah. A Spring Leaf Drum. And oh God. Lightning Greaves. Just the fun of one of Lightning Greaves.
Give it haste.
Give it haste. Get in there.
Yep.
Get in there, little buddy.
That's right.
Go Turtle, go. Yeah, so like I don't know if this is just like the new hotness or if this is just going to be like the default like go-to deck, because it's kind of a mush of 2 decks that like of the old like 8-cast deck.
Yeah.
This deck's called Almost 8-cast. But like the old 8-cast deck. And so this has got 2 Thought Monitors and 3 Thought Casts.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. And then it just has this like giant unstoppable game ender in the deck as well. Yeah, it's just got a cannon turtle. So I don't know if this is like the final form of the deck, but when you resolve a Kappa Cannoneer, it gets them dead real fast.
Well, yeah, in a deck where you play 20 artifacts that cost 0 mana.
Yeah. And you're just like, doop, 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 doop.
Yep.
Okay, so depending on where you look, so good old Kappa Cannoneer, $19. Though they don't have any on Card Kingdom, but they were as low as $7. But apparently those all stopped.
Disappeared.
Yeah, so if you were if you really wanted these, it might be in your best interest to find the vehicle commander deck.
Yeah, that's where it came from.
Because between this and then the thing that turns creatures into vehicles, right, there's a lot of value in that commander deck.
Yeah.
If you can find it anywhere near like list price.
Yep.
So yeah, so it's interesting that like it's not even a card from the main set. It's a card from the commander product.
Card. Yeah.
That is like, oh, I won't say it broke Legacy, but it's having an outsized impact.
Mm-hmm. I wonder how much it is on Moto.
Oh gosh,
you got it pulled up right there.
I have it pulled up. Where do I find the? Oh, here's tabletop. Change version. No. How do I change it from tabletop? I am not smart enough to do this. Oh, there it is. Gosh. The price on Moto is 96 tickets.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Isn't that what like Angie's Ravager is too, though? That was another card that like sees play in Legacy that's only from a commander deck.
I don't know. And I'm not going to be able to spell Anji. Like, let's not kid ourselves here. Oh wait, maybe I figured it out. Anji's Ravager. There we go. Survey says, yeah. Oh hey, Magic Online is a cheap way. Oh my gosh, it's in 2 commander. It's 37 tickets.
Oh, okay.
It's in 2 commander products. They're just like thumbing their nose at everyone on Magic Online. They're like, it was in Commander 2019, and we put it in Innistrad Crimson Vow Commander.
Oh, okay.
You're just not going to be able to get this card, people, at like a reasonable price.
Yeah. Sorry, Magic Online.
Sorry, Magic Online. So, the next thing, probably have a little less. I've seen one is just a tweet that I saw, and that just like made me happy. And one is here in Pauper, perhaps the best deck.
Okay. And
the best deck. This was a Thraben U video, and it is like mono blue ninjas.
Yeah, I mean that was like kind of a deck already before this set, right? Wasn't ninjas a thing in your? Yes,
it absolutely was. But it was like Ninja of the Deep Hour.
Pauper.
Yeah. But it was Ninja of the Deep Hours. And not
Moon Circuit Hacker.
Moon Circuit Hacker. So I brought up a list, and it was from the Pauper Challenge on whatever day. It doesn't say, or I'm not smart enough to see it. But like it doesn't have Moon Circuit Hackers in it. But then you go down in the like creatures in this deck, and it's like oh yeah, 57% have 4 Moon Circuit Hackers.
Yeah.
And then 52% have Delvers. So it seems like Moon Circuit Hacker is taking Delver's spot.
Yeah.
So, and I'm looking at mono blue. So, looking at another one, here we go. Fairy Miscreant, Fairy Seer, Moon Circuit Hacker, Spellstutter Sprite, Ninja of the Deep Hours, and then Spire Golem.
Ooh.
Yeah. A 6 and a 2/4 flyer with affinity for islands.
There you go.
So when you're mono blue, there you go.
It's a 3-drop.
Or it's a 0-drop.
Yeah.
right? Like, you attack with your 2/4 in the air, they can't block, then you ninja in Moon Circuit Hacker, and then replay your 2/4 flyer for free.
Yeah.
Seems good. So, like, Moon Circuit Hacker is just gonna, like, kind of do work for it. Like, it does everything this deck wants to do, right? It, like, picks up all the creatures that it plays, ETB, and do something.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It picks them up to let you redo the thing, and it draws you a card when it hits the first time. Like, it's perfect.
Yep.
And the deck's playing Snap, which I didn't realize snaps were this expensive. But, right, so, like, you can attack and they can block your Moon Circuit Hacker and not your other creature. You can snap your Moon Circuit Hacker back to your hand.
Oh, that's cute.
And then you can
flash it back into play with ninjutsu.
Yep. So yeah, it just does everything.
Yeah.
So gets to play honest to goodness counter spells. Right, like sideboard's a little weak, but you know, we're on like the Annul plan and the Steel Sabotage plan. But hey. And Gut Shot, need removal. Gut Shot him. Get him.
Get him.
Well,
hey, it kills opposing Moon Circuit Hackers.
Yeah, plays 18 islands. It's also wild that, like, it doesn't have any cantrips.
Oh, yeah.
Right, the closest thing is of One Mind, which, you know, card's good. But, like, you have a good enough mix of humans and non-humans. You have, 8 humans now?
Yeah.
So, like, you have enough humans to make of One Mind, like, actually, like, a reasonable Magic card.
Yeah.
Like, 1 mana draw twos, checks notes are always good.
Yep.
So, yeah. Moon Circuit Hacker is just, like, making things go.
Make it happen.
And, like, yeah, I mean, it has not built a new archetype, but it, like, really strengthened an existing archetype.
Yep.
So, see here we go. Ooh, okay. So I searched for Mirror Shell Crab because that was the other card I wanted to talk about, and I just not what I was looking for, but the title of the deck was Cycle Storm.
Okay.
Made by Bryant Cook. Do you recognize that name?
Bryant Cook? No.
Yep. That's the guy who made Tess.
Oh, okay.
So it's got, what is it? Song of the Damned. Black. Add black mana to your pool for each creature in your graveyard. Which then just lets you cycle more stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's got some card I've never heard of. Dydra's Ploy. Draw 2 cards and discard a card. You gain life equal to the number of cards you've discarded this turn.
Oh, that's a lot.
And it has Jumpstart. And then...
Weird.
What's the storm part? It has Reaping the Graves.
I don't know what that is.
I think I have one. It is 2 and a black for an instant. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Storm.
So you just return all your cyclers and do it again?
Mm-hmm.
So how's it win?
Checking. So I feel like Daedra's Ploy, you gain like infinite life. I don't like, so they have, Drannith Stinger?
Oh. So death by 1,000 pings?
Yes. And they have Drannith Healer, so you just get to do it.
Life.
Yeah. So it has Repository Scab, so you can like bring back something that you need. Horror of the Broken Lands, Street Wraith, Imposing Vantasaur.
This is a pauper deck.
Yes.
Oh.
Because I was looking for the mirror shell crab thing that I had seen before, and then I just saw Cycle Storm, and I was like, "What is this?" And this is amazing.
The old 12-land deck.
This is everything I ever want to do.
4 of them enter tapped.
Popper, baby. Like, what more could you want than I need to have 4 copies of Reaping the Graves, and why is Cabral Ritual $7?
Don't worry, it's only 214 ticks on Magic Online.
Oh, this deck,
they're all Lotus Petals. It's $150 in Lotus Petals.
Yeah, I still have extra Lotus Petals for them at 15.
Well, this is Magic Online, but
yeah, but Magic Online is Magic, 100.
So this deck is $150 in Lotus Petals and $38 in Pyroblasts,
and then
$14 for the entire rest of the deck.
I mean, would I be willing to play this on Magic Online without Lotus Petals and without Pyroblasts?
Well, I mean,
maybe.
If you buy Lotus Petals, you're closer to Depths.
Depths. Yeah. So one of my plans, get ready for this, dear viewers, is I'm going to liquidate some more foils, and I might invest in a smallish Magic Online collection.
Ooh.
This could be it. Like, this might have to get put together like now. Like, this might just have to like exist on my person, because just wildness here. Like, this is just great. Anyway, I don't even know. Like, I asked for mirror shell crabs. There are no mirror shell crabs in this. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Like, we came here for mirror shell crab, and it was like decks using mirror shell crab, Cycle Storm, and it said there were 2 of them. And I went in and I saw no crabs.
Yeah.
There are no crabs, right? No crabs.
I didn't see any, no.
No crabs. I do not know why someone thought there were mirror shell crabs in this deck. But the thing I wanted the mirror shell crab about was there was a list that someone brought up that had someone tweeted about, oh god, it's one of the guys on the Popper Play Committee, that he turned 3, countered someone's spell with a mirror shell crab, turn 4, late for dinner day.
That's cute too.
Amazing!
Yeah.
Like, that's great! Like, again, is it top tier? Probably not. Is it
But certainly no
amazing?
Cycle Storm.
No. I know it was not our planned journey, but sometimes it's just worth, like, doing.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's this other person who played it, whose name is Raptor. Is it the Raptor? But no, it's Raptor. Josh Layton is now just plays Storybook Brawl.
The game's awesome. I mean, I haven't played in like a week or two, but
yeah, no, I'm not hating, but he got Magic Hall of Fame and was like, I'm out.
Hey, when you put your new computer together, you can get on Storybook Brawl.
Yeah. Oh, this version had mystical teachings.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is just all the stuff. They cut the exhumes. They don't want to have the out to just like mystical to exhuming a Strike Riverwinder on turn 2. Hey, because sometimes you just accidentally get them.
Yep.
And I'm here for that. I'm here for the accidental get-ems. How'd you win? I accidentally got them. Awesome.
Sometimes that just happens.
Sometimes it does, and you feel like a genius. And you're like, well, can't do any better than that. Yeah. This one has Architects of Will. Even better.
Old Living End
all
card
the things
right there.
Yeah. All the things I could possibly want to do. But Magic Online, we really have to like work on Lotus Petals being $40 a pop.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, you can make any number of them. You just go in and like turn a slider.
I guess like it wasn't ever in anything though, right? It was in Tempest Remastered. And like, was Mystery Booster ever on Magic Online?
I don't think.
So it's just Tempest Remastered?
I think so. I'm on the Moto version, and From the Vault Exiled has an amount, the foil.
Mm-hmm.
Tempest Remastered, foil and non-foil. Tempest has a Moto price. Okay. The Kaladesh Invention is 9 ticks.
Oh, well, there you go.
What Kaladesh Invention's foil that is $422. I got off mine.
Yeah.
For like 300 a piece buy list. Amen. Is 9 ticks. I would spend $36 on some like weird looking Lotus Petals on Moto.
There you go.
Yeah, just wild. But then, okay, real quick, we gotta wrap up the show.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like going through. It's like, oh, okay, decks using Lotus Petal. Legacy Doomsday. Guess how much Legacy Doomsday costs?
I have no idea. I mean, it's got $4,000.
$6,100.
Yeah.
$6,100. Yeah, $3,800 in underground fees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not surprising.
Whew. Wild. Anyway, so other than our little diversion into Cyclostorm, which you're welcome.
Brian's new favorite deck.
My new favorite deck. Just how do you win?
Whatever.
I make enough mana and I figure it out. The end.
Sandwich.
Sandwich. I'm going to gain infinite life, or I'm going to deal you infinite damage with Draenei Stingers. Yep. So, yeah, like this set seems to have like hit the right note of it's putting neat decks into the format, but not like annihilating them.
Yeah, I think like all of the things that we said about Limited last week that make it a cool Limited format, I think apply to every constructed format as well. And I think that's why you're seeing like so many of these cards show up across formats, because the cards are fun to play with. And while they may not be the best thing to do, they're fun and people are having fun exploring them. And
yeah,
again, that's exactly what I like about the Limited format. There's so much to explore, so many little knobs to turn and synergies to pair together, and I don't know, it's awesome. This is, I think, one of my favorite sets, and I really didn't have high expectations for it going into spoiler season.
Yeah, I will agree. I did not have a ton of high hopes for it, but it is very interesting, and it has been fun. And like I played Standard.
Yeah, when was the last time you did that?
Oh, I cannot tell you.
Yeah.
But I mean, so even like we didn't even touch on like what was that? What is that green like 2/2 that when you're casting an enchantment it gets a +1/+1 counter?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like we didn't touch on that. There's also Light Paw's Emperor's Voice.
Mm-hmm. Like
that card's getting played in the Black-White Auras deck in Pioneer.
Yep.
Right, you could also see the green card getting played in this, right? Where you're like, oh, hey, I'm just gonna like become white-green and just go like be big dog, just go huge. Right, you could cut some of these like auras and be like, you know what? I'm just gonna play Makoto's Reign of Truth.
Yeah.
For like all that glitters, like 5 through 8.
Yep.
And just get them that way. So there are just so many things that you can like randomly do that are cool and interesting. and just like, oh, this is fun.
Mm-hmm.
And we've not had a lot of like this is fun stuff. Yeah. Right? Like
it's been a while since we had a fun format instead of just a powerful or whatever format.
They were very good at printing powerful formats. They were less good at making powerful cards. They were less good at making like cards that were fun but also hit that right level of power that they actually saw play.
Yeah.
So, all right, with all of that, I think we have a fun show.
We do. It was a blast. It was sweet. Lots of sweet decks.
Lots of sweet decks.
Yep.
So if you want to get at us and participate in the conversation and just say hey, check our description for all of our ways to get at us on social media.
Yeah, and Discord. Link in the description for Discord. Hop in there. If you guys want to support the show, please use our TCG Player affiliate link when buying singles. It's tcg.casualtryhardmtg.com. If you want to support us a little bit more directly, we would appreciate it if you threw us a couple bucks at patreon.com/casualtryhardmtg. Patrons get access to our show notes. They get access to our pre-show recording. And once in a while, I throw something out as a little give back. I actually sent the give backs out on Saturday, so they should be in your hands within a few days of you hearing this, I would imagine.
Nice.
So thanks to the patrons. You make all this happen.
You do.
Yep. Anything else?
No. So with that, I guess we'll catch you guys on the internets.
We'll catch you on the internets.